Speaking of opal, yeah, what did you find some? Get some? What's the deal there? All right, now then, I'm gonna put a little bit more glue underneath there. Okay, the stones are in place, folks. You're sorting your fossil brachiopods. Last night, noticed that some glow are definitely not fluorite, milky porcelain. You started thinking about it. Common opal. Yep, they could be common opal. That wouldn't be a far fetched thing. Plenty of opalized fossils in North America. Some of your fossilized wood is opalized wood. Um, that sort of thing. So that makes sense. Opal has never been found anywhere near Michigan. Well, common opal maybe. I mean, common opal is found all over the place. I mean, common opal is even found in the Adirondack Mountains. All right, now stones are placed. The chances of it having precious opal dram are really, really low. There's very little to none of precious opal on the North American continent, with the exception of a mine I've heard about in Canada, and I have no idea where it is, and down in Mexico. So the closest you're going to get to a precious opal is actually something called fire agate out of Arizona and California and Mexico. It's an agate that literally has like an opalescence to it. All right. So now that that is glued down, we need to let these set up and dry before I can bead. So I'm going to set this aside and pull out the owl piece I was working on, because I cannot do any beading on this until this glue is set up. Otherwise, it's going to be a disaster. Thanks, Reese Cup. Vernon, BC. Okay, so hubby looked it up. It's in Vernon, BC, so it's about 4 hours away from us. I wonder if they give tours. Hey, Prof! Just finished gluing down the stones for the commission piece that I'm going to be working on. So I got to set this aside and let these dry. And we'll bring out the owl piece to do. So I'll put this over here to dry, and we'll bring this down here to work on. Woo! And then all the foil, which is the new form of craft herpes, goes flying. I've got foil everywhere on this desk. And I'm just going to go like this and get rid of it in the trash can because I don't want it flying all over the place. Yes, so this piece is next piece I'm working on besides the commission piece. I set the contest piece aside for a little bit so I could do the commission piece. And also, work on this piece here. And last night, while I was sitting in front of my computer here, I took all the beads that were in little bags meant for this project and I put them in this caddy. Yay. So now I have organization. There's a scary concept, folks. Organization in me. Yeah, very scary concept. So we will get to work on that. I'm going to set that there. And I'm actually going to take the lid off because the lid pops off of these. I love that. It's a nice little feature. And I can go like that and set it there. All right. Now we can go back to this. So last night I worked on embellishing this piece. And this is where I ended last night. Adds any second now. I think I need to move that, otherwise I'm going to knock it over. We'll put it over there. Thank you, Supreme Doom. All right, thanks, Supreme Doom. I remember you probably didn't hear me because the ads were going. So I love owls, so I thought I'd do an owl piece. Thank you, Reese Cup. I have to think of where I have them, but I'm almost thinking of sticking two small pyritized ammonite halves, one here and one here, just to bring this pyritized ammonite and this all together. I'm thinking on it. I gotta go grab out the stuff and bring it over and lay it down and see if it's gonna work or not. I also want to keep this lightweight as much as possible because I can't wear something if it's too heavy. I make these gorgeous big pieces, but some of them are more show pieces than being wearable because the older I get, the less weight I can tolerate on my shoulders and my neck and my ears. So there is that. When I was younger, I could wear these massive, huge earrings that weighed a freaking ton, and it didn't affect me any. Now I do that, I'm going to end up with severe pain in my ears, and the holes in my ears will probably be bleeding at the end of the day. So, not a cool thing. I'm not 18 anymore. So, Prof, how is your newest army coming along that you're painting? Currently applying details to bases before we hit them with another coat of paint. Sounds like a plan. Is going on here. I see, says I. Okay. I see what the problem is. There we go. Twitch just notified you that I was on. Yeah, Twitch has been doing some weird things like that recently. I had somebody tell me the other day that Twitch didn't tell them I was online until I had been streaming like 3 hours. So, um, hey, it hit you at 44 minutes, which is not bad. That's better than 3 hours. You got one that was 2 hours old a couple days ago. I'm not surprised. Twitch has been doing some really weird stuff. Yes, yes, and that's why I posted on Discord that I was going live, because Twitch is not always the most reliable. Twitch has been twitching for a while now. Dogs are having one of those days because it's raining outside, and they don't like the rain. To them, that's just an awful thing to have rain because it means they can't go running around outside. I mean, I let them out. They could stay out there as long as they wanted to, but the problem is Molly refuses to get her paws wet. She literally has only gone pee once today in all the times I've had them out because she refuses to go out and get herself wet. She's very much Miss Princess Paws. In so many ways, she is a Miss Princess Paws. Yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, Molly, the one who doesn't like being out in the rain, she's part husky. She's got trace amounts of husky in her. I think that's the most hilarious part of the whole thing. Now, the snow, on the other hand, she loves snow. Is there a reason why I have a Lavina head on my lap? Is there a reason for this Lavina head on my lap? I have a dog who has decided that she has to have her head on my lap. And she's wagging her tail. So either she needs to go out or she's looking for a tea item. And Prince just decided you needed a tea item. A large treat. Well, we got nice large treats. We had treats come in the mail today. So we are going to do the treats. All right. So this is Lavina, aka, come on, Lavina, right here in the camera. This is the diva. This is Molly, who is the queen, and she knows it, and she refuses to get up off her bed to get her treat. So you got Molly, and you got Lavina, who is over here munching. You can kind of sort of see her right here. Was that good? I smell the mint. Hopefully it freshens your breath. Was that good, girls? Huh? Was it delicious? You're still chewing, so it must have been good. Yeah, they're still crunching down there. They're liking that stuff. Boop the snoots. Okay. Molly. Molly. Boop. Lavina's like, oh, boop. There we go. We got boops. We got boops. We got boops. Huh, we got boops, didn't we, Lavina? Didn't we? All right. Mama's got to get back to beating. All right, girls, lay down. Lay down, Lavina. Get in there and lay down. Right there. I don't care if you got to walk over Sissy or walk around me. There you go. Good girl. All right, now Yeah, that'll be good in there. Yes, they're both my babies. They are my babies. They know it too. And I'm going to use that color. It's a brighter gold. It'll show up better. It's actually a little too small. Oh, too- a size 6 millimeter, and that would be too big. They are my beautiful girls. They know it. They remind Mama every day that they love me. All right. Okay, just for shits and giggles. God, that looks like it's going to be too big in there. It is. So 4 millimeters too small, 6 millimeters too big, and I don't think I have anything in between. Well, suckage. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try this. That's good. Okay. That's a 4 millimeter with two. Actually, that's a 3 millimeter bead with two size 15 seed beads. Yeah, they're my babies. They're both gorgeous. They're the sweetest beans. What's even better is they actually let Mama sleep in the morning. Many years ago, I couldn't sleep in. They would wake me up. Am I saying I need a lapidary station to modify beads? I'm not going that far. I might try to cut my own stones, but I am not going to do anything more than that to it. I already have several expensive hobbies. I do not need another one. I have weaving, which is going to be expensive. Thankfully, I have yarn already I can thread on the loom. I have my beads and my jewelry making that can be a very expensive hobby. I have my metal clay, which is expensive. I have my polymer clay, which, depending on what you do, can get pricey. I have, let's see, I have my oil paints, which I have to drag out and start playing with because I decided I'd try to paint pictures. Um, I do not need another expensive hobby. Come on. Why is it when you want a needle to go someplace, it never goes the place you want it to and always goes someplace you don't want it to? There is no top of cost for beading. No, there isn't. There isn't. It's never ending. And, you know, yeah, you can start out pretty cheap, but if you start doing stuff like I do, you have from a jewel tool to alter touch up some of your cabs. I've looked at those. I've seriously thought about getting one of them. It's just that they are quite pricey. And I was like, I don't know. Because if I have one of those, I have to have a spot that has some ventilation because you don't want to be sanding or polishing dry on stones. and I don't want that stuff going through the house. So I'd probably have to be use that on like the back porch or the back patio or in the garage. That's why you have a friend with one. But even regular cabochon cutting machine, it would be, you know, that's just the expenditure on that is insane. Yeah, exactly. You might be right. You might be right there, Latigo. Because I've been told I have enough supplies I could start my own bead store. You're not far off there. He makes Bolarite cabs. Cool. I've seen some pretty cool Bolarite. It's just that the last time I saw Bolarite, yeah, $3,000 exactly, Duram. They're not cheap. And then if something goes wrong with them, you have to know how to repair them, and the parts can be pretty pricey too for fixing them. Um, so yeah. Anyways, I don't know if I'm ever going to get into that, but Bolarite cabs, I saw some at Tucson. I also saw some at Quartzsite, and the ones in Tucson, I don't know what the person was thinking. I don't mind paying good money for a cabochon when it's a rare mineral, but a freaking bowling ball cut up is not a rare mineral. And like hell, am I paying $300 for a cab this size of Bolarite? Ain't happening. Um, I had there were some people selling actual chunks of Bolarite in the quartzsite shows, but I didn't see any finished cabs of it at the quartzsite shows. Yeah, vintage. It was nuts. I'm like, seriously, $300 for a cab of Bolarite. Um, I get that it's the shiny fancy material that everybody wanted on the market at that point in time, but no. Cold day in hell. I mean, I'll pay good money for stones. I'll pay damn good money for stones. I've got hubby was with me when I bought this stuff, but at one of the shows in Tucson, I got some rutilated quartz, some really good rutilated quartz, high freaking quality. He was from Italy, and I think I dropped 1,400 at his booth in on my credit card, buying some absolutely stunning faceted cabs from him, and they were huge. I mean, of the cabs I bought from him, the two largest cabs were absolutely massive. And yeah, I've paid very good money for cabs. Well, $10 a gram for that to me is not something to gawk at. I think that's cheap, Dram, because I know what it is and I know how rare it is. You know, I know what that stuff is like. It's so that stuff. No, I could see that being $10 a gram. And you're always going to have people out there like that, Dram, who think you're trying to scam them because they don't understand the worth of the material. And unfortunately, places like eBay and Etsy and stuff have not helped because you get sellers on there from places overseas like India and China who maybe they get a hold of the material. They then go and they commission